Well, I think the first thing, Nancy, would be that we don't have to be afraid of the technology. I think the average person doesn't realize how much technology and AI is already involved in their lives, whether it's processing of medical records, whether it's helping to read diagnostic studies. So I think that AI is a complementary capability. We should look at it as a partner, as a tool, as a way of synergistically getting better. Well, I think we should always be reconciled back to clinical needs. And certainly that fosters agile processes so we get rapid feedback, internal testing, delivery of quantum capabilities that answer the questions for which they're posed. And I think what the medical device industry has tried to do is be quicker to market. They've worked with the FDA and other regulatory bodies with some success, but I think we need partners to help us get products quicker to the patients who need them. And as was mentioned in a discussion yesterday, sometimes we have to accept more risk up front to allow that, combined with more robust post-market clinical follow-up. So I think the device companies do the best they can, but they can't do this alone. They need partners on the regulatory side as well. Well, I think it's a couple of different ways. Certainly, most big companies have realized it doesn't have to be created here. And so they look for inorganic partnerships, inorganic expertise, or some big companies have lost that innovator's dilemma. That is, the prioritization is based on the requirement for supporting big infrastructure, big margins. And so some of these smaller companies, these startups, are able to achieve milestones that then can be developed and scaled by the big companies. So I think there's a partnership there. I think there are partnerships, as I mentioned earlier, from regulatory. For example, the Medical Device Innovation Consortium is a non-lobbying organization. So industry sits on the board with FDA. And so there are a lot of enlightened conversations. Now, we all hope that we will see that enlightenment extend throughout our dealings with the FDA. Hasn't happened yet.
Amazing.
But to go further, for example, valuing historic data. Why does everything have to be prospective RCT? That's not a real world experience, and it's not applicable potentially to the next real world patient that walks in. And so changing the kind of data that's required to get past certain hurdles, again, to accelerate getting those needs to the patient. Well, I think it's been the combination of expertise in a really representative way and the informality. So sometimes you get very stuffy conferences where there are very experienced people. Here you have the experienced people in an environment that really is conducive to conversations, discussions, hopefully potential collaborations. I think it's been great. And I think that sometimes titles put people off. And I think, again, people aren't stuck in their hierarchies here. So it allows a free exchange. And I think that's healthy because everybody's got something valuable to contribute. I would say cross-pollination leading to synergies. Well, it's again, bringing people with very different views and sometimes perspectives that we don't necessarily deal with on a daily basis. And so it's refreshing. So it's always good to have a fresh set of eyes to validate what you're doing or maybe give you a fruitful redirection.